coming to you from the Gold Coast in Australia. We hope that your lockdowns or isolations, no matter where you are in this big old world of ours, is going well for you, as well as one can be expected, that is. Excuse me, I have brushed my hair this morning, I have cleaned my teeth, and I have had a wash, but it doesn't look like it, does it? No. So I'm enjoying my first cup of coffee for the morning. I'm going to try and have a fairly stress-free day. Today my plans are to contact Ozcare to arrange some domestic cleaning and showering needs. And then I need to call NDIS to arrange the coordinator to come out, hopefully. Sorry, that eye thing is a nervous twitch at the moment. Because down in that area near the post box we need to have stairs put in, and I believe I may be able to get that done, possibly. I've still got a couple of things for Shazza to do at home, so we're at stages where 2 or more people outside of your family home, you can't be with more than 2 or more people that are not your family outside of the home. We can only still shop, see pharmacies, or only essential services. So doctors, although my doctor now does a telepath appointment, so I'll make an appointment as per normal and she will then ring me. So that's now underway. I still do see a few people hanging around the streets. Last week I saw some school kids hanging out. Obviously there was no school, but yep, still on these things too. Burn myself on the finger. I still didn't like the damn thing. That's better. So I was down the shopping centre the other day. Actually, I had to go to the pharmacist. I had to go because I had to get some paperwork signed, stat dec, so they had to witness my signature so I can send that off to the new super thing happening. Although I may have to wait till April for the no tax to come into play. I've also got to order some rubber sealing for one of the windows that didn't have any in it when we purchased the place, but that was overlooked I should say. Not that I can be digging any gardens, but I've got some, in discussions with my sister Barb, I've decided to put in a Maria, a couple of, actually 4 or 5 Marias on this side, down between us and our neighbour, just to give us a bit of privacy later on. I mean, it doesn't grow in 6 months, it won't grow enough, but it's just for privacy really on each side. So, because the concreting that I thought was going to go ahead didn't go ahead. Obviously got cancelled last minute, so. But what can you do? It is what it is. So, it is a glorious day here on the GC, as you can see. Look at that beautiful sky. Hope you can see it. Let me just clean the lens. That might be a bit better. Can you see the blue sky there? I really haven't figured out entirely how to use my phone. I only just figured out that when I flip the phone, it flips automatically, rather than me having to do it myself all the time. So, yeah, my plans for today, stay at home. I do need to get that stat dec signed, but I may do that tomorrow. My anxiety levels and my fear of leaving the house is it's very dramatic. And now that I've got the walker, it makes it easier to get from the disabled car spot to the chemist, I stop along the way and I take a seat. So yeah, so I've got to get there. I've got my month's supply of scripts, which is great. The chemist was fantastic with that. I'll send another email this morning or a phone call to the doctors, making sure that the doctor now has the script reminder, so she can fax through those scripts first and then send them off to the chemist. I have to say, the healthcare industry is helping out so much, and I do put my hands together for those in healthcare that are trying to fight and help those in need, especially ICU, because it's gotten to the stage obviously where there are becoming very limited beds and people have to be really judged and categorized, because there's a lot of oldies in our hospital up here, and it wouldn't be only our hospital either, it would be other hospitals around the world. I know Italy has now taken out all the fairly well people that are in a hospital and transferred them to other hospitals in Italy so that they can solely concentrate on the pandemic customers, patients I should say. So they've now taken over the world in relation to people with the coronavirus and those who have died. So God help them and God help their families at this hard and difficult time. So Prime Minister here in Australia did announce that there will be changes to our social welfare benefits in the respect that they will be paying out more for a period of 6 months to help those, which is great because then I can do all my food ordering online now and have it delivered. The only thing I am running out of, which I have to get a hold of, is some sort of Pino Clean so that I can spray any goods coming into the house, because I have some medical supplies coming this week. So they are going to get left near the front door. I will disinfect them at the front door, and then once that disinfectant has dried off, I will then pick up the item with gloves on, bring it into the home. Because they are sterile and sealed, I'll then quickly spray with Glen 20 each item with my gloves on, and then repack it in a box that is safe to use. So I am doing all the measures that I possibly can do to stop the coronavirus if it is on any of the packages. I'm leaving a sign out the front door this morning to please leave packages on the chair at the front door, and thanking them very much for their efforts and cooperation. It's a very difficult time that the world is encountering right now, and we have to all stick together. Not just Australia, not just America, not just Spain and Italy and China. We all need to. Watching a documentary last night, and China now has slowly started to open up their restrictions for travelling, so they can travel within China or to and from work on public transport, whereas all that was locked down. And that's because they've started to see a decline in coronavirus victims. So thank you, Lord above. It is working, and Australia has an advantage. We have, I'm so sorry about this blinking, it's such a nervous habit at this given time. Australia can learn a lot from these countries. Unfortunately, their rates of death are much higher, but they were the first to contract the coronavirus in those countries. So in turn, we have learnt, and yeah. And I also pray to God that those leaders of certain worlds like Russia, the UK, and some of our ministers here that have been diagnosed with corona fight it and live through to tell their great-grandchildren, because most of them are beyond their 60s. So So I'm doing a little bit from home. I'm actually, I'm having a great response from the Paxum medication. I haven't had a spasm besides the spasms I have while I'm sitting on the toilet to try and poo. They're the only ones I get. They are strong, they are horrendous, but hopefully now I'll be able to get a good night's sleep, not worrying about these bloody spasms occurring and waking me up, and I'll be ready for the next day. At the moment, I have had bags under my eyes for a few weeks now, but hey, most of us have. So, seeing families go down to the park, and yes, there are more than 2, but let's face it, some families have more than 10 people in them. So some families came down to our little reserve yesterday and sat down there while the kids ran around, you know, and there was another family as well that came down flying kites, and they were socially distancing themselves. So a big thumbs up for you guys. I'm really proud. And it sounds like next door are getting better. The little girl, I think it was, who had a really bad cold, and that's exactly what it was, just a cold. And it's a shame out there that people think that when they hear someone cough or see someone sweat, I mean, I don't cough, but I do sweat a great deal. I don't know whether you can see the back of my hairline, but just getting out to my bedroom, out to this veranda area, I got very sweaty, and that's because with these spasms I've been bedridden. So I'm hoping these things will change, and I think I have just ran out of space on my phone, which means I've got to get an SD card as soon as possible. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and I will see you again very shortly. Don't know if you can see Mr. Fly in the closed lid of rice. I assume him and his little maggots will be taking over very soon. See it jumping around, hasn't got much space to move in, but well, I'll have to get rid of him soon, indefinitely.